the remittances that countries like us or the Philippines get. Their remittances are
One of
much
the
higher.
highest one, exactly.
And similarly with India. And the Middle East population is 10% local and 90% expat.
Mhm.
And if there is a drop in remittance for Pakistan, for example, at $42 billion, or for the other countries at $80 billion, they take a couple of $1 billion hit, or we take a couple of $1 billion hit. That translates into what a balance of payments
Horrible.
challenge for some, and maybe harsher for some countries like us who are in a fund program. And countries which are in a fund program have very severe kind of macro modeling. And these numbers, if they vary by a billion or 2 billion, when you're expecting, let's say, $1 billion as your current account, and you vary by a billion or 2 billion, that's a 100% jump in your current account. So that has to be managed. So the channels are oil, inflation, remittances, trade, and then there is another channel. There are the countries all the time looking for investments in the world, some doing the investments and some looking forward to what they call FDI. Pakistan's again one of them, India is one of them, Vietnam's one of them. All these countries are looking for FDI, right? So the FDI story is, of course, dependent on certainty. That is
Exactly. Economic
that's
stability. Exactly.
absolutely. So macro stability, economic stability, political stability, but this all translates into a certainty where I make an investment over the 5 to 10 year horizon. And if I have to make that, then obviously a region where surrounded by a conflict, things become uncertain, and the investor tends to pull out in the sense of time delays. This may be a 4 to 6 week war, but there is a time delay in the kind of investment that I would be thinking, whether in South Asia, East Asia, or anywhere else. And also, so this is the impact coming to, these kinds of countries. The Middle East itself, let's look at the Middle East. It
True.
probably gets a very, very high percentage of its food basket from abroad. Let's say
Exactly.
these
Food imports.
disruptions, right? These disruptions were to continue, you could see kind of a discomfort there. And this dislocation, actually, the Middle East has never seen. This would be something new, which logistically they would have to then plan for and handle.